episode of Exceptionalities Highlighted. We speak with Amanda McNabb, who is the coordinator of the preschool programs for children with disabilities in Spring ISD.
We have a special presentation from our Exceptionalities PPCD scholars.
Baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you again for joining us on this episode of Exceptionalities Highlighted, PPCD edition. Guys, please give a hand to our PPCD scholars who performed Baby Shark so well. To our show, she is the PPCD coordinator in Spring ISD, and she is doing some fabulous work, and I am so excited to have her. So it is my pleasure to be here. Thank you, Amanda, for joining us. Without further ado, we will get right into the good stuff. Yay. All right, Amanda, I have some questions for you, okay? And I know that you can answer them because you're an expert in the field, okay? So none of the questions are too hard. Wink, wink. They're not too hard. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, but I believe that I can answer your questions. All right, first question. So briefly tell me about yourself and what qualifies you to be the PPCD coordinator in Spring ISD. Well, thank you all for having me on your show. I am Amanda Toon, and I have been the coordinator for the PPCD program in Spring ISD for the last 3 years. Prior to, I was the coordinator for the diagnosticians in the district for 6 years. And so I've just been loving Spring ISD. So thank you, Spring ISD. And so I've never worked in early childhood, but I've been around the early childhood program assessments, and I've been around the teachers and several other people in the field, and I've picked up some things. And so I'm very passionate about special education. No matter what population of children I'm serving, I'm always here to help. And so I've been enjoying my time with the PPCD program. Okay. Sounds like she knows her stuff, guys. All right. All right. So Amanda, tell us what the purpose of PPCD is. Just for the people out there in the world who don't know, could you explain the purpose of the PPCD program and just give us some great information? Okay, so the purpose of the preschool program for children with disabilities is to provide early intervention and services in the least restrictive environment for children 3 to 5. So we service children 3 to 5, okay? And so who've been found to have a disability and they need specially designed instruction. And so yes, that's the purpose of the PPCD program. All right, so what qualifies the students for this program? Could you tell us more about that? That's a really great question. Children can be referred in 2 ways: through the ECI, which is early childhood intervention, or through parent referral. Children can be referred in 2 ways: through the ECI, which is early childhood intervention, or through parent referral. To qualify a child, you must first undergo a full individual evaluation to determine if there is a disability, and if the disability exists, whether or not there is a need for specially designed instruction. The ARD committee, which is the Admissions Review and Dismissal Committee, will determine what services the students need, and we create a plan from there. Okay? So could you explain to us what are the steps for entry into this program in Spring ISD? Okay. In Spring ISD, a child is first referred either by the ECI, Early Childhood Intervention, or the parent. First, a developmental screening is completed in order to determine which developmental area a child may be have a deficit in. So that's first. The screening team will request that a parent sign an informed consent, so written consent, for a full and individual evaluation to be completed and provide that consent. The consent is provided. The assessment team has 45 school days to complete the evaluation. After the evaluation is completed, an ARD is held within 30 days of the conclusion of the consensus of ARD services. So then after that, then the ARD services can be implemented as such. What is the population of the students served by the PPCD program in Spring ISD? Is there a specific race or gender that you see often? Or is there a specific disability that you see more than others? We currently provide a continuum of services to approximately 340 students under the PPCD program. Services range from speech only services, to self-contained classes. Students remain under the PPCD umbrella through their 6th birthday. So many kindergarten students still fall into this window until they turn 6. The most common disability identified is autism or a non-categorical for suspected autism. There isn't an overrepresentation of any population of student based on gender, race, or creed. Okay, so no overrepresentation. Okay, I love that. I love that. Autism. I would never ever imagine that would be the most common disability that you see. So that's very interesting. All right, so this is a tough one, but I have faith in you, Amanda. Okay. I believe that you can do it. I believe I can do it. How is success of the PPCD program measured? How do you measure it? Like, what are the quality indicators that we should look for? The progress in the students and the numbers. How does that all work out to be successful for you in Spring ISD? The PPCD facilitator and myself, we meet individually with our teachers at least twice per year to discuss the students individually. We look at data sheets, and we conduct observations of the students to help determine the appropriateness of the services. This also gives us an opportunity to determine what coaching assistance that we need to provide individual teachers within their classrooms. Success is measured differently for each student, but I would like to think that the number of students who exit the PPCD program and are being served in the least restrictive environment is really the reality of our success of our program. And so that is amazing when they come to our program and they grow and they no longer need our services. That is success for me. That is success for me. Measured by each student. Okay, I love that. I love that answer. And what I've noticed with my children that I teach, success looks different for each child. All of our children are special in their own special way, and I don't ever think it's fair to judge them all by the same standard. They all learn differently. They all think differently. They all have different perspectives. And so success looks different. It's not a one size fits all. And so I love that in your program that success is measured based on the student. I love that. That's so great. So this one, this is not tough. None of these questions are tough, guys. So this one, this question is for you. What are some barriers that impact the success of the PPCD program? Could you explain that a little bit for me? That's a great question. As with most of the PPCD programs, keeping the staffing ratios appropriate is the big. The students enter the PPCD program throughout the year, and it varies. The numbers are up, they're down, they're all the way around. That staffing ratio is really like our biggest issue, because sometimes we might have too many staff members, but then we're at a low point, and then we hit a peak season and we have too many, and it's just can be kind of crazy. And it just varies across the district. It's various. And so that can be difficult to project for the staff and to know what exactly, what we need. So that, I would say, that is one of the biggest barriers. So the ratio and the numbers, and we have students who move and they transition, and they're here. So that makes sense. So I could see that being a barrier. What is Spring ISD doing to prevent this? We constantly meet. We're meeting a lot, and we observe and just keeping a close eye on it and the students' needs, because that is the most important thing. So to make sure we're meeting their needs. So we're just constantly monitoring and adjusting as needed. It's just one of those things you have to, it's like this today and then it changes, and so you just have to adjust and adapt, and that's the best way to say that, to prevent that barrier. I love that. All right, so tell me about your PPCD team, and what are the qualifications needed to be employed for this program? Just for some special education teachers who are out there who might be looking to transition into preschool education for students with disabilities. The PPCD program is a great program if you love children and you love exceptional children and you love children that you want to take home but you can't take them home. This is the perfect place for you. Currently, we have one PPCD facilitator who is a former PPCD teacher and who piloted the communication program in Spring ISD. So she is amazing. I love her. Currently, we have one PPCD facilitator who is a former PPCD teacher who piloted a communication program in Spring ISD for children with significant expressive language delays. In conjunction with your function. In conjunction with the University of Colorado, she has former training and mentoring and coaching. Our team has a total of 21 teachers. Education certification for those who are in an inclusion class, and a generalist certification for those who will teach in the self. Of these teachers, 3 are bilingual and also have bilingual certification on top of their other certifications. So my team rocks. Thank you, team, because our program would not be as great without all of you. So thank you, team. Sorry, get that in there. Sounds good, sounds good. We're moving right along. All right, so what is one of the biggest myths about the PPCD program in general, or in Spring ISD, or whatever you want to share with us, because you are the expert in this, okay? Excuse me. The biggest myth would be that all of our students need to be served in self-contained classes. That's the biggest myth. And that is not true with all students who have disabilities. That's not true. Many people don't recognize that students ages 3 to 5 can be and should be provided with the least restrictive environment with their non-disabled peers. And so self-contained is not the least restrictive environment for every single student. So just knowing what the student needs and how can we service that child in the least restrictive environment with their non-disabled peers is what we strive to do. Question, this is a really hard one. It's very hard. What makes the PPCD program in Spring ISD better than any other program in the country? Oh, Spring ISD. I just love my district. Let's see. One of the really cool advantages about Spring ISD is that we have a continuum of services that are provided for the children. Students receive their services within the pre-K classroom. So they have access to their non-disabled peers, which I have found not to be the case in other districts. I feel that this better prepares our students for entering kindergarten. So we provide that continuum, and so that's options. Like, you know, it's you're here, then you're there, and you move on. And so we're just tailoring to the specific needs of our students. And so that is why Spring ISD is so amazing, because we have variety, we have options, we have amazing teachers, coordinators, you name it. We are the best, hands down. I love that. I love that. Good, kudos to Spring ISD. I love that you guys are giving the students options and the continuum of support, and just not the one size fit all. I love that idea. I think that is amazing that Spring ISD is doing the great work. Continue to do the great work. And we love you here at Exceptionalities Highlighted. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you here on the show. We will welcome you back anytime you'd like to come. And thank you to Spring ISD for all of your great work and contributions to the special education community. And without further ado, we will have a message from our sponsor.
Shukriya. Thank you.